AskReddit by .forgetosire. People who are bothered by others wearing a mask while driving. Why do you care? A tiny handful of people actually read and answered the question, but a AF ton of people answered their own question. Yeah, everyone missed the people who are bothered part of the question. It's just people saying why they're not bothered by it. I once saw someone driving with a mask on, trying to be safe in a pandemic, but they were texting and driving. Can't die from corona if you die in a car crash, first taps head. It's just weird when I look in my rearview mirror and some dude wearing a bloody hockey mask is behind me with a machete. It gives me the creeps. Can't get covered if Jason hacks you to pieces first. Taps forehead. I started minding my business in 2004, and I have to say I recommend it. I see tons of wild shit. I may look to be sure I'm seeing correctly 9/10. I shrug and go about my day. I started minding my business in 2004, and I have to say I recommend it. I'm gonna put this on a t-shirt. When I see others driving with a mask, I just assume they're like me and they forget that they're even wearing a mask, hop in their car and go. It's become second nature to me. Yep. That, or they're driving a fairly short distance from one place where they need to wear a mask, to another place where they need to wear a mask, and there's no real point to taking it off and then putting it back on less than 10 minutes later. I do this occasionally too, and I know it might look weird, but it's easier to just leave the damn thing on. I delivered DoorDash and Instacart. Yay to you, I look like a dummy wearing a mask in my car. In all actuality, I'm treating others like I'd hope to be treated. I'm keeping their food as sterile as possible in my car. Edit. Holy shit. Thanks for all the love, guys. My high-risk sister just tested positive for COVID on Monday and we are really scared for her life. I don't wish COVID on anyone who's been taking this serious, as she was. A co-worker who refused to wear a mask gave it to 10 people in her department at her job. Wear a damn mask. As someone who uses DoorDash more than I probably should, thank you. For real. As someone who tends to judge those people, I have no idea, it has zero effect on me. I thought it was odd too until I needed to run into a couple of stores back to back, think grocery then pharmacy. Found it easier to leave it on for a 2-minute drive than take it off and put it back on. Because it's illegal here in Germany. Always gotta know who's driving the vehicle. How do they do things like Britishers there if you can't cover your face in a car? Why do we care, in general, about the harmless behaviors of others? This is the answer to all these threads in the last week. Sometimes masks can be annoying to get just right, especially if you have a beard. I tend to keep it on so I don't have to readjust it, especially if I have to stop at a couple places. I have a few masks and one of them is actually really comfortable. I kind of forget I have it on when I'm focused on the directions to where I'm going, or what exactly I have to get in the next store, or something like that. The struggle is real. I have a beard and when you put on a mask crap is poking out all over the place. I feel like I look like a 1970s swimsuit model. My kids are autistic, and we're at the stage with the youngest one THWT it's hard to explain complex situations to him. He's 6 and very smart, but his verbal communication skills are still a ways behind. It's so much easier explaining to him that when we leave the house we just put our masks on, than explaining when to wear it and when not. Now he happily puts his mask on just like he's putting on his shoes, and has fully accepted it as part of the routine. Hence, we all just wears masks to keep it simple to understand. Deleted. I just want to explain why I do this. When I go outside to run an errand it is best to assume my hands are now dirty until I wash my hands. Why would I touch my mask with dirty hands if I don't need to? In times of COVID and with vulnerable family members, I do my best not to get sick. Yes, same. Once I've gone out I don't take it off until I get home. Also I read that the average person touches their face like 20 times an hour, so it prevents that. Plenty of people could be Uber drivers or the equivalent. In which case still not a good idea to be sneezing and coughing while alone just to bring a passenger in. Nick here. If you see me driving, I'm in a zip car and have no idea what was happening in it before I picked it up, so you can bet my mask is on. Deleted. Plus the headphones thing is illegal, at least in my state AZ. Deleted. I don't think your target audience is on Reddit. I think they are the people who answer just get downvoted because it's such unpopular opinion. The people being upvoted are the ones patting themselves on the back for not being judgmental, lol. Our unpopular opinion has the same problem. People downvote the unpopular opinions and upvote the opinions they agree with, so all you get are widely held opinions that people think are fringe. The top post right now is janitors and losers. People care about others' behavior and trying to control them because they lack self-discipline and would otherwise have to fixate that attention on themselves, which is hard for them to do. My dad isn't bothered, he just thinks it's ridiculous. Then I mentioned to him that early on it was recommended that you have clean hands before putting on your mask. Maybe they washed their hands and went to the store, then had to go to somewhere else but didn't feel their hands were clean enough to touch their mask again and again. Or maybe they're a rideshare driver and on their way to pick up a ride, so need to stay covered like a grocery store worker. He gets quiet or changes the subject after that. Someone literally yelled at me out of their car the other day, "Why are you wearing your mask? Bitch, why are you not minding your own business?" Some people want to ignore the pandemic, and seeing people in masks makes that impossible. Some people can't see anything that goes against their worldview without feeling at least a little bit like it's a personal affront. So when people wear masks when they don't have to, it feels even more like they are just doing it to make a statement, or to rub it in that the pandemic is real and there's no ignoring it. There's always the chance they are working for DoorDash, skip the dishes or something like that, transporting goods that they won't want to exhale droplets all over if it's in their car. Could just be driving someone else's car. There's a million reasons why they could, who cares? It bothers me BC it shows a propensity to blindly follow authority without critical thinking that has become increasingly common. I find it funny when I see a person driving around alone in their own car wearing a mask, but I don't really care at all. I tend to assume these people are food delivery drivers and are just taking the extra precaution for their customers. Deleted.